Talk a little bit about purchase inspections and why you might want to do it, and a little bit about Carfax and what you really get when you pull a Carfax report. So since usually the first start of purchasing of a car is to do some homework, and we'll talk a little bit about Carfax. Carfax is a private institution that gets its information basically from the government. If you do an emissions test, the emissions test date, whether it passed or failed, is turned into this entity, and they record that. If you get insurance work done, and it goes through an insurance company for a repair, for a wreck or something like that, it is turned in so that you can keep a good record from their standpoint of the mileage. And by far that's the most important thing with Carfax, is you get a chain of events of what's been done to make sure that when you buy a car that the mileage is accurate. The information as far as wrecks are only as good as the institutions turning that in. If you get repair work done and you pay out of pocket, chances are it's not going to show up on Carfax. So Carfax is not the all-knowing entity that will tell you everything that's happened to a car. So let's talk about the purchase inspection, and Carfax will come back into it in a moment. Purchase inspections are for basically two reasons. Main reason is you want to know what you're getting when you buy a car. When we do a purchase inspection, we do a bumper-to-bumper inspection of this car, of everything you can see without disassembling the car. We check all the exterior panels to make sure it hasn't been in an accident. If it has been in an accident, how severe was it? Did you upset your girlfriend or boyfriend and they dragged the key down the side? Somebody run into it with a shopping cart, or was it in a hard accident? We can tell that by looking at the underneath to see if the frame's bent, if there are pull marks, weld marks, things like that, to let us know how severe the accident may have been. We also check internal components inside the passenger compartment. We check all the window switches, door switches, mirror switches, switches for headlights, wipers, everything that operates electrically. We make sure it all functions the way it's supposed to. We also check, make sure the seats are not torn, make sure that, look under the carcass to make sure it hasn't been in a flood. If the car comes from Midwest, high flood prone area, we look for things like that. We try to find a history of where the car came from. We try to find where the car was originally delivered. If it's delivered up north, chances are it could have some rust issues that have not shown up yet. So there are a lot of things that go on with a pre-purchase inspection. Check to make sure that the engine is in good condition. We test drive the car, make sure the engine, the suspension, transmission, differentials, all of these things are working the way they should and they don't have bearing noises. And look underneath the car to make sure that the wear that is on the suspension correlates to the amount of mileage that's on the car. You see a lot of heavy wear and tear underneath the car, shows a lot of abuse. Chances are the mileage may not be correct. That's when Carfax comes back in to be a little more important. You can establish a chain of how many miles are on the vehicle. The other aspect of a purchase inspection, after you find out what's wrong with the car, is a huge bargaining chip for you when you're trying to buy this car. A lot of times we can find things that the owner of the car may not even know about. So you can use that to help reduce the price of the automobile to get a more favorable price. So if you have to do these repairs, if you choose to buy it, you can. So a pre-purchase inspection does more than just simply letting you know what is wrong with the car. Like I said, it gives you a huge bargaining chip that you can go use against the dealership or a private individual. Post-purchase inspection is kind of like shutting the gate after the horses are out. You get what you get. And this is what happens when a purchase is more of an emotional purchase than it is a necessary purchase. Necessary meaning you need a car to go to work, you need it to do your daily activities. The emotional purchase is, oh, look at that Corvette on the side of the road, I think I'll buy it. We see this a lot with people going through midlife crises. Been through a few myself. And people wanting to get their youth back, want to buy a car that their grandfather had, that their father had as they were younger. And they will buy these cars before they have them checked out, and they'll bring them in, and we accomplish one of two things. We can make them very happy or very upset. That can work well for us. If we find these problems, we get these cars back up into good shape, make it a reliable car, the customers are very happy. So purchase inspections, pre, post, are all very good ideas. I certainly suggest having a pre-purchase inspection so you don't go into this blind. The emotional purchases can sometimes bite us. Most people do have purchases that are planned. I'm probably one of the rare people that when I buy a car, it's usually because it's broken down, not running, and I already know I'm working with a piece of junk. A good referral for me this morning would be that individual that has a purchase in mind. Maybe they're not ready to do it just yet, but start with your Carfax. Start looking around, eBay, Craigslist, all of the different automotive sales websites out there. Don't buy the first car you see. That car might be the one you buy, but look at more and circle back to it and make sure it's actually the vehicle you need. Anyone interested in purchasing a car, have them see me, KerrySingley7 Min.